Okay, we're recording. Jack, it's so nice to meet you. I'm so glad you're here on the show. Yay.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me, and it's wonderful to meet you too, Carmen.
I know, I'm so excited. So Jack Seavor McDonald is an actor and a comedian. And I have to say, you may not know this, but like I have love for performers. I live in Los Angeles too. I think we need to have more people on the show that are creatives. And so thank you for I think you're our first. So
Really? Wow.
yeah, I mean, we have an eclectic group of guests that come on the show, but I remember when your PR person reached out to me, I was like, yes, immediately. And then we had to because we have a schedule we keep. And so I was so glad that when we had a cancellation, I was like, could you possibly come in earlier? So thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. I mean, life happens to us all.
No. So for people who don't know, you're going to find out everything you need to know about Jack. So you're a so of course I'm reading because I just grabbed a whole bunch of stuff off of all of your, I'm not going to pretend I know everything about you, but I know a lot. You're a Los Angeles-based actor and comedian. You're known for Never Have I Ever. That's on Netflix, right?
That's right.
Ted I've seen. And that's the TV series that is narrated. Is it narrated? No, Ted is, Seth MacFarlane, right?
Right.
Is the voice. So I've seen that and the movie. You've been on Modern Family. You've been on Young Sheldon. You've been on You've been on so many shows. You've also been in a lot of commercials, right? I've seen quite a few of them, I think. I've seen at least 2.
Mm-hmm.
You've been on 2 national commercials. You started performing when you were a kid. Can you tell me when you knew that you wanted to be an actor? I know that a lot of your influences, you talk a lot about your grandmother. Is that who Grammy is, your grandmother?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about that, your beginnings?
Yes, absolutely. So I have memories of being in kindergarten and really enjoying making my crush laugh by dancing goofy and falling down, doing pratfalls, but I really didn't consider acting to be a viable career until 6th grade. I heard that acting was a real job, and that was my first year that
You grew up in California, so
Mhm.
you also grew up with the idea that acting was not a real job? That's a prevalent thing here?
I mean, yeah, even so I grew up about an hour away from Los Angeles, and even that close to the whole biz, you still grow up hearing that's a very competitive business. You should really do something else as a backup plan. And
That's so interesting to hear, Jack, because that's how I grew up on the East Coast. Anything to do with performing that's not a real job. So I'm sorry. That was fascinating to hear that from someone who grew up here. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah, absolutely. And so in 6th grade, I auditioned for a community theater show, Alice in Wonderland Junior. And when I auditioned for something where nobody knew me or nobody knew my mom, and they cast me in the musical as the Mad Hatter, and
Cool.
that was a really big confidence boost for me. It was a Valverde School of Performing Arts
Wow.
in Rancho Cucamonga.
Yeah.
They still do classes if anyone around that area is listening.
Interested in stepping into your shoes.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's a really wonderful community and really fantastic teachers there. I basically, from about 6th or 7th grade through my first year of college, I was still doing shows with them. And
Wow.
yeah, every summer and spring they do a musical, a junior show for 18 and under, and then bigger show with adults in the summer. Yeah.
How did comedy become because there's acting and there's comedy, and people like to confuse that it's the same thing. No.
Right.
So
Right.
how did you realize, I mean, you talked about making your crush laugh, and that's when you knew, but then you went into kind of more dramatic acting with the school, right?
At first, but it was definitely I just grew up in a funny family, really. So I've always been inclined to want to make people laugh because that's how I was shown that adults are from
Oh,
my mom and my
wow.
dad,
Okay,
always
you and I
doing
grew up
goofy
very
voices.
differently, but okay.
Mm, I'm very lucky.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Mhm.
Who are some of your influences? Do you have favorite comedians? Let's start with comedians first because I'm always curious. I may not know them, but go ahead.
No worries. That is totally fine. I love Tim Robinson.
I know Tim Robinson.
He's recently had a pretty big, not shift, but like he has a sketch show on Netflix called I Think You Should Leave, and he just got a new show on HBO called The Chair Company.
Okay, I'll have
Uh,
to check them out. Who else?
yeah, I love his comedy. Dimitri Martin, I love
God, I feel
him.
so old right now. I don't know who this is.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine. He actually doesn't really do a lot of stand up anymore. He was back from like 2010s, I think, and he did a lot of sort of prop comedy, drawing in front of crowds.
What kind of comedian are you? Do you do a lot of stand up or are you more like Steve? Do you know who Steve Martin is? Because I'm going to be so embarrassed if you don't.
No, I definitely
Yeah.
do. I think I would definitely say Steve Martin
Okay.
is an influence, and Jim Carrey. I
Oh,
watched a
Jim Carrey.
lot
Okay,
of
right.
Jim Carrey growing up. So I would say that more physical and sort of goofball energy is more my thing. I like to do improv more than
Oh,
stand up.
right. I read about that. You have your own improv group too, right?
Yeah, we're called Heat Wave, and it's me and two other comedians, and we perform all over Southern California.
That's so great. Now, do you prefer, am I going too fast with too many questions? I'm so sorry.
I don't. No,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think so. Am
So,
I answering in a
oh my
good?
God, you are. I'm totally
Okay.
loving this. Like, you're not going to be able to leave for like, 3 hours. We're going to have a whole conversation. But let me ask you this. Do you prefer, this might not be a fair question, dramatic acting or comedic acting?
I value dramatic acting for its challenge, its own personal challenge,
Oh,
but my heart is definitely connected more to comedy.
okay.
Um, because it was just comedy was just such a huge important part of my childhood growing up. If you're sad, you get hurt, the automatic thing is to try and make someone laugh
Right.
and makes them feel better. And I that always stuck out to me is that people are happy when they're laughing. Why wouldn't I want to make as many people laugh as I could?
Let me just see this. You're married to Joe. You have a dog named Willie. I'm like just letting everyone know the stuff you can read about. And I love how the description is cattle dog, Chihuahua, Miner, and I'm like mutt. That is a
Yeah.
mutt, like, which I believe we all are, which are the best kinds of people and dogs, right? So,
Oh,
um,
totally.
you are known for your warmth and humility and grounded presence despite working in high profile productions. What do you love about being on set? Can you share with people who don't know anything about acting, have never been, because that's our audience. Our audience, some of the people on our show have been on set because they're from Los Angeles or New York, but our audience really is not the Hollywood crowd. So what is it like to be on set for you?
When I'm on set, I really love to, well, when you're in a studio, they have all these fake walls that they've built to try and make your setting look as realistic as possible. And one of my favorite things is to go around looking at the set to see what is real, what's just for
Right.
looks, like the old Looney Tunes cartoons. You could always tell what was about to be like touched in the background because it was a different color uh,
Right. That's
or
so funny.
something.
Was
So
it? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I
no, no worries. Just to round out that answer, I would say I love getting to look at the set decoration and admire the work that all the other crew puts
yeah.
into a project like that.
I don't think people understand, especially people who are not part of the Hollywood crowd, that people that build the sets, construction workers, electricians, there's so many people involved in the crew. And like I was thinking about the modern family set, that must have been interesting because it's actually a house, right? There are certain houses that you go into. Or are you on a stage crew all the time? Were you at one of the stages when you were doing Modern Family, for example?
For Modern Family, I remember that we were on a sound stage for one of the scenes. But a lot of the time, even if you're in a house, they just have that section of the house built. So
right, just the living room or something or whatever it is.
And for instance, in the Modern Family one, there's a scene where I'm in a bedroom, Manny's bedroom at his computer, and you're like, oh, okay, he like lives on the second floor of his house. They don't need to do that, but they do build an entire first floor to just give that same feeling that there's a second story and you're in a room that is only imagining the rest of the house space.
And isn't that, I mean, that's kind of the beautiful part about being an actor is you really do have to use your imagination, because what people don't understand is that while you're doing your lines, there's a mic overhead hanging, there's people with lighting, there's people with cameras all around you. It's not just you and Manny in a room. It's you and like, I don't know, 45, 50 other people, right? I mean,
easily. And all that, there's dozens of different things that need to go correctly on a set for a scene to be, or that angle of a scene to be deemed correctly filmed, or like, oh, that's what we wanted. You need the lights to be correct, you need the makeup and the hair, and then the camera has to move the exact correct way every time. I think you're right. People don't really realize how much of a dance every sort of scene that you film is.
And it's not one time. So do you remember how many times you had to film? And it's not because an actor does something wrong, but you have to film a certain scene. Like how many times would you say you do a few takes or something?
I mean, when everyone is on their game, so to speak, it can probably be 3 to 4 takes if that's everyone working at their best. But anything could happen. I would say the worst I've ever gone to is probably like 15 to 20 takes of something complicated.
Ooh, that's hard. Yeah, that's really hard. And it's because, just so I can explain to our audience, if you don't mind, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a long time since I've been active on a set. I've been running budgets for sets, but they will film you straight on doing your lines, and then they will turn around. So that'll be one take of filming. And then they'll turn around and put the camera behind you and take your scene partner from the opposite side. They'll film that. Then they'll turn around and do angles. But again, it's like if everyone's on point, and that doesn't mean just the actors, it's the lighting, the sound. I mean, I remember doing a scene, and this was theater, and, we were like just trying to do the previews or whatever. And I thought we had nailed it. They were filming it to do kind of these little like ads or whatever. And that never really happens in theater, but they were filming it. And I thought we nailed it. And the sound hadn't been like, no one had sound any packs or anything. Like it was such a stupid thing, but it was a small community theater thing. So it really is about everything on set. Are you energized when you're on set or on stage? Like, do you do comedic? Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm confusing. Do you do stand-up? I thought you did stand-up as well.
I'm definitely interested in stand-up. I've done it once. I did an open mic in 2020 February, and then I haven't been back to it, but it does interest me. I struggle when it comes to sitting down and getting my thoughts out on paper, which is why I love improv so much. It's out there.
Okay, I was just going to ask you. That's why I'm kind of interrupting again. I'm just so excited to talk to you. Can Can you explain what the difference is between improv and like stand-up comedy? Because that's a mistake I just made in asking, right? I am like, oh, he does stand-up comedy because you talked about improv. So can you explain what the differences are and what it means to say you do improv with two of your comedic friends?
Yes, absolutely. So stand-up is typically a one-person performance that they have written ahead of time and practiced multiple times, uh, including in front of an audience. And each of those shows is going to be very similar to each other. Whereas with improv, you do not write anything down beforehand and you are doing it with multiple people. It's not just you, you're working as a team, and you can just get a suggestion of any word from the audience, and then you just do scenes made up by you and your friends right there on the spot, and hopefully it's funny.
I mean, I think that would be so much scarier than like writing it all out, having it memorized. But I think like the hard part with that is like being funny after you writing something would also scare me to death because I wouldn't be able to be funny after writing something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think what you do is even scarier. So you go on stage with your friends, you ask the audience, like, can you just give me kind of what happens behind the scene thing?
Absolutely. So the way that our team works, Heatwave, we go out and we say, hey, everybody, we're Heatwave. All we need to get started is one word suggestion. What is something that makes you sweat? And then
That's funny. Okay.
the audience will just say something that makes them sweat. And then that's our one word. We all repeat it. And then we go into whatever scene starts to happen.
Sketch comedy thingamajiggy on that one word. Is that right? Like
That's right. Just any kind of comedic scene, and anyone can start it. You just start miming something. I don't even know what that was. Maybe a violin. Or...
What is that? I'm like, something makes you sweat.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, I love it. Okay, you just taught me something. I made an assumption, and you just taught me something, which is kind of embarrassing since I've been working in Hollywood forever.
Oh no! I think no matter no matter a person's age or like where you come from, you're never done learning. You always have the capability to learn.
And I know nothing about. I'm not a comedy person. And I love comedy. But I think it's a whole different kind of performance. I think it's a whole different type of ability and skill set. And, people would always tell me that I'm kind of funny, but I'm not funny. I'm just funny because I can talk to people and make them laugh, but not on purpose. And not as a thing. It's accidental, So when you were talking about when you were younger and you noticed you like to make people laugh, why? I know you noticed it, but sometimes comedians tend to have these tragic, painful. You don't seem to be that, but I'm just, and if it's too much to talk about, we don't have to talk about it. But I'm just curious do you have that kind of thing too, all this tragedy, and so that's why you were able to be a comedian?
Luckily, I don't really come from much trauma myself. I'd say
God bless you.
It's pretty. I've had a pretty privileged life. That the extent of it at the time was just, I'm fat and I don't want them to make fun of me. And so if I can make them laugh, then I can control how they're reacting to me. And I don't have to feel bad about how I look because, well, I made them laugh.
Okay, but the way you just said that was so amazing. Like your confidence in saying that.
Thanks, yeah.
Wow, I love that. Wait a minute, I totally had like a moment and I was like, did he just, what? So,
sure.
Because some people would say you were doing, you just admitted it straight out, but you were also doing it as a protective thing, but also as kind of a help to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought, I generally think that, okay, I'm not always thinking about this in such an analytical way, but I think that it is oh, I'm usually looking for the most amount of happiness in every interaction because
Mhm.
I just don't, I'm a little weird. I don't like people upset with me.
I don't
I
think
know
that's
that's a little
weird.
strange.
I think that's human nature.
I know, I'm just joshing around.
Oh, okay, okay.
Uh,
I think it's human nature, and I think what's different about what you're saying is that you know yourself well enough, which I think is also an attribute to being a good performer, a good actor, a good. I was a dancer as a kid. That's why I always say performer. I think if you know yourself well enough, it's a different kind of confidence that most people don't have.
right.
People
That's
don't have that.
Uh, yeah, I've always been very lucky that I knew since such a young age that I wanted to be an actor, and that was one of the things that I heard often was like, "Wow, that's so surprising that you know what you want to do,"
Yeah.
and so I do consider myself lucky to have been through that so early.
Yeah. What's coming up for you in the future? Like I'm wondering why you want to do a podcast with me. I look at this is all about the joy, and I was grateful to have you reach out. I'm just curious, what's on the horizon for you?
Well, coming up is sort of a nebulous thing with the way that the industry looks right now. Everything is so
Hmm.
slow and uncertain. All that I know for sure is that I just finished a movie called Or Else, and
Oh, did I miss that? Tell us a little bit about Or Else and when it might be coming out. Because
no
you just
worries.
finished filming it, right? You just finished filming it. Okay.
A few months ago we finished, and I think I just heard that they were done editing as well.
Yeah.
So, Or Else is a horror comedy written and directed by Diana Hopper
Okay.
from the Goliath series on HBO.
Okay.
And it's about this woman in freshman year of college, and people start to pass away around her, and it's intrigue and mystery, who done it,
You've done it. Okay.
and then it sort of all spirals around this main character to a climactic showdown.
Okay, so I know why I kind of skipped it. I don't do horror.
Mm,
So if you've ever watched our show, which I'm sure you'll watch in the future, Cynthia and Rick love horror. So I'm the one man out or whatever. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So I kind of I even if I don't intend to, I was like horror skip. You know what I mean? So
I grew up the same exact way. I would not touch a horror movie with a 10-yard stick.
yeah.
Um, and weirdly, what made the switch for me is I started my sister, who I have a 5 years older than me sister,
Uh-huh.
and she was showing me the Saw movies, which
Yeah, no, no, no.
those aren't even really horror. Those
I
are
won't
more
even
just
watch them, but you just
gore.
said Saw. I'm just, yeah,
Right.
I don't want to do gore. I'm really goody two shoes. Don't want to watch anything that has horrible ending.
Totally. I understand.
I'm a,
And my
yeah.
sister started showing me the special features for the Saw movies, and it helped me so much to see how it was done and it's all
Oh,
fake.
right,
And even though I knew that on a
right.
conscious level, but seeing how they did it specifically was very relieving to me.
Okay, I can understand that. I guess, like as you're saying, like I went skydiving because I was afraid of heights, and it really did help me. But I will not be watching. I'll just trust you on that. You know what I mean? Like, trust
Yeah,
you.
no, and I will definitely just trust you on the skydiving.
No, you have to go skydiving at some point in your life. You got to do it.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Let's
Well, this is just two. You will never watch one of my favorite horror movies, and I will never go skydiving.
Okay, wait. What's one of your favorite horror films?
Oh, I really love the Friday the 13th series.
No, yeah, I'm sorry, love. It's nice to meet you and everything, but okay, you won't go skydiving. I won't watch any fight. Okay, we're good. We're good. I was thinking maybe I would find a way. Like I did go see Sinners recently, and I was like this the whole time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
did not see it, but I wanted, because it was such a cultural event. I was like,
Yes.
but yeah, and still, I wish I hadn't seen it. I thought it was amazing, but yeah, it was too much for me. Okay.
Gotcha.
But I want to get back to you talking about AI. and talking about how the industry is changing, because that was an interesting thread.
Yeah.
What is your feelings on it? And again, where do you see yourself going, or what are you doing, if anything at all?
Mm-hmm. The disturbing trend of leadership in production companies wanting to focus on AI usage is shame. I really believe that there's no future for AI in a creative industry. I really think that our own not artificial intelligences are good enough
Yeah.
for a
Mm-hmm.
creative career like this. Now, I'm not saying no AI ever, because I do think that there are scientific pluses to using it, computing formulas that we as humans don't have time to do. But when it comes to the actual industry, I can't think of a single job on a set that would just flat out be better done by a
Yeah.
computer.
So I just had Joel Lava, who's a DJ director. He was on our last episode. I'll send you the link so you can check it out. But he was kind of talking about how even as a director, and he films a lot of commercials, a lot of shorts. We've known each other for a long time, and he's talking about how Hollywood's dying because of AI, and he knows AI. So it's just interesting to hear so many different people in the industry talking about AI. And I agree. I love AI, not as a creative entity, but as kind of like an assistant. I like I can ask it any question and it'll get me some information. But as far as it, taking over the creative realm of things, I'm afraid. And Joel makes this point in the interview. We keep saying things like that AI, people aren't going to believe it, whatever. But, we all believed kind of the Star Wars puppets from the original movie, or E.T., or we believed it, even though it was, made or whatever. And it's like, it's a scary time for our industry. Are you nervous at all, or?
No, I think like any new technology, there's just a fear of the unknown and where it will go. But I don't think that it's realistic to say that it could ever wholly replace people in an industry. I think there's going to be plenty of people who believe like, wow, technology is amazing and I'd love to see what AI can do. But I couldn't ever imagine people just saying, that's it, no more people-made projects.
I said that to him too. I said, I think he kept saying Hollywood's dying. I said Hollywood's changing. And I think you and I are on kind of the more level-headed. He's going to be mad at me if he watches this. Level-headed, or maybe we're just optimistic about it. I think we're going to find our place. I also think, I don't care how great AI is in duplicating a film, there's never going to be the ability to have someone on stage doing an improv show, or a comedian, or theater. I think what it's actually going to do is drive people back to seeing live performances or doing things like this. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you're optimistic about the future of Hollywood.
Yeah. I mean, to his point about it dying, well, that, when something dies, then something else is born and can take its place. It's
okay.
If it has to die, then there will be a brand new way of making movies ready to take its place. So it's almost like we're both right. It is changing. It could be dying.
Yeah, I'm just going to say he's wrong and you're right, because I'm going to go with that. He's my friend. We can fight. We can fight on the side. No, just kidding.
Okay.
I love that you're agreeing with me. Just stay on this side of it, Jack.
Okay.
All right. I have some rapid fire questions next.
Love it.
Let me just see if I got all my other questions out the way.
Oh, I'm sorry, really quick.
No, of course.
Before, way back when we were talking about my inspiration for comedy and talked about having a funny family, but we were specifically mentioning Grammy, my grandma on my mom's side. She was like my first friend. in life, and we would spend so much time together, and we just got each other's humor so much that I I would get in trouble for sitting next to her on car rides because I'd laugh so hard I'd wet my pants.
Really?
So she and I had a really strong bond, and I think a lot of my physical humor and sort of little silly voices are a lot from her.
I asked this respectfully, and if it's wrong, I'll cut it out. Has she passed on, or is she still around?
Oh, no worries. I don't think that's disrespectful. She has passed on as of
So sorry. Okay.
2022, I believe.
Oh, recent. Oh, Jack, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it hurts, but she is not hurting anymore, so I'm
Yeah.
happy for her in that sense.
She lives on through you because I saw that in every single thing I was looking up about you. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about it is she's, I'm not going to try to coax it or whatever. I just think the way in which we honor people says a lot more about who they are than we realize even when we say something about them, So I love that. And she was a huge influence in you doing the work that you do now, which is just beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited. All right. So now we're going to do a couple of rapid fire. You don't have to be rapid about it though, if you want to. Okay. So, all right. Tell me the name of a role you would drop everything for to play.
I would drop everything to play. The first sort of comparison I think of is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I'm thinking of goofy main character that's out to, well, he was just out to get his bike, but like something that like save the town or.
Oh, that's awesome. I wouldn't have guessed that at all. That's great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd love to do like a goofy, an earnest, scared, stupid, any of those types
of roles.
Goofy main character that, has got a heart of gold.
I love it. Okay. And I think that's kind of who you are though, too. I think what people don't understand about actors is they have to find a piece of themselves in the character they're playing. And it's so interesting who you chose because I don't know you at all, but I feel like I have good intuition. That's why that relates to you. They have a heart of gold too, but don't mess it up and get arrested or something tomorrow for something bad. Okay.
All right. I'll say Carmen said I had to go.
Carmen said, right. Okay. Funniest moment on set.
Funniest moment on set. There was on Never Have I Ever. I was swimming for an episode that I was in, and there was this other actor, Pete Gardner, that was playing the coach. He's a really big improv comedic actor as well. And when you're a speaking line on a set, the people in the crew who are sort of in charge of you, knowing where you are, letting you know when you're up next, it can feel like a very sort of pampered existence, the way that do you need anything to drink? Like, are you okay? Right. And I was expressing to Pete that it kind of made me a little uncomfortable because I wasn't used to that. And I hadn't had this kind of speaking role where they were so on hand and foot. Mm-hmm. And he said like, oh, well, don't worry. That's kind of their job. That's all they're there to do is make sure you're okay and you can do your job. And then I was like, okay, I don't know. I might ask them maybe not to do it. Cut to, I'm in the pool and I start to get a cramp in my foot and I swim over to the edge and the swimming instructor says, give me your foot, and starts to massage it. And the set health person is giving me a drink of water with electrolytes in it. And then Pete walks by as I've got one foot out of the water drinking a delicious Propel, and he just shakes his head at me like, yeah, you really don't like the pampering, huh? And
I actually love that.
it was very funny for me. I was like, oh man, he caught me good.
Well, and just so that people who don't know, the reason why actors, and this is where we spend a lot of money. So from the money side, from the insurance side, from all the other business end of the reason why we take care of all actors on set is for a lot of reasons. It isn't just to make sure that you're okay and fine so you can deliver your lines, although that is a big one. Like if you're comfortable and all you have to worry about is not the lighting or what your shirt looks like, or if your makeup's on right, you don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to worry about is your line and doing your work, the work that you were hired to do. But the other bit is also insurance. And you said you were in a pool. You know what I mean? Like, so we have to have everyone in place to make sure nothing happens that is wrong. And you having a cramp and having somebody like the doctor on set to be there to make sure that's so important insurance wise too, you know? So I think there's this idea about Hollywood that everybody's pampered all the time. So I wanted to give the other perspective. There's a reason why we do that, you know? So.
Oh yeah. No, I think it's so good to point out that they are not doing this because you're a big star or something.
No, that can be it too. We want to take care of you to make sure you deliver your line. So do not do that. You were the actor on set. That was your scene. You were waiting. So I'm not taking away from that too. That is why we're doing it. You're delivering lines. You're just as important as any other person on set. And that's, on Ron Howard's sets, what I loved about there was it didn't matter who you were. You were everybody, whether it was the crew or background actors or Ron Howard, everybody knows him as Opie from, you know, whatever that show was back in the day. But also he's one of the greatest directors around. His film sets, the work environment. I was on Parenthood and I worked for a couple other film sets, but that whole environment is just all about positivity and joy and happiness, and it doesn't matter what they're filming, you know? Yeah. But I've been on sets, I'm sure, and not just as the financial person, I'm sure you've been on sets that you would never want to walk on again. And we won't discuss those.
No, we don't need to. But yes, I sure have.
But you would do it again because you get paid. So you might do it again. You know what I mean? If you get paid. Sure.
And depending on the part, like there's so many different milestones that actors can have. Like, oh, I finally did a death scene, or oh, I finally got to do acting in a pool, or things like that. That's so fun. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite curse word?
You know, in an Australian way, I find the C word pretty fun.
Okay. See you next Tuesday? You know what it is? See you next Tuesday.
Yes. I would never use that as a derogatory misogynist term, but as a, hey, friend.
Right. Got you. Understood. Okay.
And see, even here, I don't even want to actually say it, but I think it's funny in certain contexts.
I love the way you said it, and that's why I said see you next Tuesday, because I would have bleeped it out, but I would have done something underneath to make sure people knew. So I appreciate you being so kind on the set. But on the set, oh my God, I feel like we're already on set. That's so crazy. Okay. All right. Is there work as an actor or comedian that you wouldn't do?
I'm not really interested in playing any racists. I know that is a real thing that should be shown so that people know that it exists, but I'm just not interested in playing a part that has to be derogatory or racist. I don't totally get that. I don't like that. Of course, nobody likes it, but I would say that is a type of role that I would rather not.
Okay, but if Steven Spielberg came to you and said, I'm doing a movie, and I see you as the perfect person to play this character, and he is a racist, your answer to Steven Spielberg. Okay, wait, let me set this up for you. If Steven Spielberg, like, I will not do nudity, okay?
Sure.
Ever. As a performer, I was like, I will never do nudity. And then somebody said, if Steven Spielberg was like, Okay, so now answer the question.
I'd say, look, Steven, does this racist get a comeuppance for it? Because that is important to me.
Right.
If I'm going to portray a character that is duplicitous, then I need them to be punished.
Okay, so as your newfound manager, okay,
Oh,
I am telling you right now, if Steven Spielberg came and told you that you are going to play a racist in his upcoming movie, you're going to do it because you know that he would get his comeuppance because that's the kind of film director he is.
okay. Well then, great.
I'm just telling you, you would. I would make you do it.
No, sure. I get it.
But no,
That's how
I
you
hear
earn your
you.
10%.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right. I'm 20%, so I don't know about your manager, but I'm gonna be 20%, right? No, I'm just kidding. Wait, I don't want to negate what you said. I get it though. It's kind of like I would do because I had to change my idea, right? I'm not going to do nudity for gratuitous sake, but there's a difference between art and you're right. There's art, and then there's just gratuitous bullshittery. And that's where the line is drawn. I think that's what you're saying about racism or any other ism that we could probably throw on the table. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely fair. I would really, I don't ever want to portray, or ableism is another one that I would not like to do, portraying a certain birth, illness or what have you, facial difference, if I don't have that facial difference.
Right. Yeah. It's such people don't understand how hard it is because there's the part when you're starting to be a performer, you'll take anything, especially if you have no money coming in or you don't have that kind of financial support somewhere else, you'll take anything. And I saw so many of my friends end up regretting some of the roles that they took, But then you have standards, and I'm glad that you are in a position where you can kind of decide not to take certain things. That's a great place to be. That's
absolutely. I love that you brought that up. It is weirdly unfair that the earlier you are in the career, the less options you have.
Yeah. They're fine though. So,
sure. Yeah.
Let's see. What's a sound you hate?
Ooh, a sound I hate. The classic iPhone alarm sound will just get my hackles up immediately because I had it as my
That's okay.
I had it as my alarm for so long that if I just hear it while I'm awake, my brain just gets confused and upset. Like, I'm already awake.
That's so funny. I don't even know what that sound is because I'm not an iPhone user, so I trust your judgment. Okay, no argument for me there.
It just kind of goes like,
oh yeah, okay, yeah. That would drive me. Why would that be their normal sound? But okay,
yeah.
What's your favorite food on set?
Oh gosh, I really, if I'm going for fuel, I love a trail mix. But if I'm just going for a little snicky snack, I would say probably like a cookie or some chips.
Okay. It's just fun, snacky stuff. Craft services doesn't get enough love. I'm just saying. Craft services on sets do not get enough love.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they're horrible depending on what you're on, but most times if you're on a real set, craft services are amazing.
Can I tell you my theory on craft services, that no matter what set you go on, there will always be at least coffee and bananas.
Yes! That's true. Why is that?
I feel like the bananas, they're like easy to
carry around.
They don't have the trash involved. And then just people everywhere always want coffee.
Always nice. Okay. If you weren't an actor, what would you be doing? And you cannot say gas attendant thingamajiggy that you did back in the day.
Well, good, because I would never go back.
Okay, good. Good. So
And
you'll have to tell people that you had to work a shift at like 11 p.m. to 7 in the morning or something. You were working as a gas station attendant. Where were you? You were in school or something?
that's right. Yeah, I was in Fullerton, going to Cal State Fullerton for theater, and
Right.
I needed a job bad, so I went and did a graveyard shift at a gas station nearby. And I would not recommend graveyard shifts.
Right, but I read that so many people came and would get gas and hang out with you for a bit every once in a while, right? Like your teachers and your friends would come just to hang out with you, and some of your improv buddies, right?
Yes, that's right. My friend Casey Bowen created these posters that he put up around our theater department that were
That's great.
Photoshop pictures of me, and it said Graveyard Jack will be working at this gas station. Come visit him, and then people did. People
That's
start.
kind of nice. That's good friendships, man. That's really
It
cool. I love that.
really is. There's really sweet community at the Cal State Fullerton Theater Department, and yeah, they'd take pictures and post them on their Facebook page.
That is the coolest thing. Okay, so if you weren't an actor and a
Oh,
comedian,
right.
what would you be doing?
Mm, hmm. I think I could be a food critic.
Ooh,
That was
ooh, I
that was
like
another
that.
one of my dreams as a youngin' before actor. I was like, maybe I could be a food tester. And
Okay,
then my dad was like, that's called a critic. And so, yeah, I think I could be a good food critic.
that's kind of cool.
I love food. And
Who
then
doesn't?
exactly. And then just there are some times where me and my spouse Joe are trying things together, and I'm like, oh, do you taste the cinnamon in there?
Right.
And Joe will be like, no, I don't taste that at
Not at
all.
all. Right.
Yeah, and I'm like,
That's
oh, that's
funny.
weird. Why am I picking up on something else?
Because you're very sensitive to it. That's good. Yeah, because you love it. Okay.
Hmm.
Window seat or aisle?
Mm. Well, if it's an airplane, then I would say window seat
Okay.
because it was in 2018. I was on a trip to Ireland for my sister's wedding.
Oh, nice.
Uh-huh. My brother-in-law is a pilot, so
Oh,
they
cool.
were going somewhere neither of them had been before to get married. Um,
That's nice. That's
Very
actually
cool.
cool. Yeah.
And I had a aisle seat on that flight, and I had taken a melatonin to help just sleep through the 12-hour flight. But then about half an hour later, the drink cart comes out and rams right into my knee
Oh, okay.
and wakes me up. And I'm like, I'll never want an aisle
You'll
seat
never want
again.
that again. All right, that's a good enough reason. I tend to like the aisle seat, not window seat.
Oh,
I don't like people walking over me when they have to go to the bathroom and stuff. Like, I just
mm.
don't like, So, of course, my preference, I'm sure, as yours would be to be in first class and not be bothered at all. But it's just another dream. Okay. All right. So, here's my take on the actor's studio question. This is the last question for you. Okay.
Mhm.
If there is a hell and you found yourself at the fire embossed gates, what would you say to the clerk of damnation guarding them?
Oh my gosh.
I know. Everyone wants to do the pearly gates of heaven. I'm saying, what if you
Yeah,
find yourself in hell?
yeah. If I found myself in hell, I would probably say, was it just one thing, or did I do a bunch of bad things? I'd want to know exactly what got me there.
Right. Was it just one thing or a bunch of things? That's awesome. Oh my God. Thank you so much for being on the show. I want to tell people how they can find you. Of course, I'll be putting it down at the bottom. I know I could find your IG, your Instagram is Jack Seavor,
Yeah,
right? At Jack Seavor. And that's SEAVOR.
correct.
So that's your Instagram. But did you have another place people could find you at?
You can also find me on TikTok. It's
Fantastic.
the similar username at Jack Seavor 8.
Okay. So there's an 8 at the end of it. Okay.
Yeah, for
Perfect.
TikTok.
Okay. Thank you so much. Will you come back? You have to come back. We'll have to talk about something else. We'll talk about acting and performing, but you'll have to come back. So I'm going to make you say it on camera. Will you come back?
Absolutely. Carmen, I would love to be back to talk all things acting and performing, art,
So
whatever.
much fun. Do you have anything else coming up soon that you want people to be aware of? Maybe can people come and see you with your improv group or?
There are no standing performance dates that like I
Okay.
do all the time, but my Instagram will always have updates.
Perfect answer. Yep. And so we can always figure out how to find you, see you, and just be in your presence. It was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much. And everyone, please go visit him, follow him on Instagram and on TikTok. And yeah, remember at the end of the day, it really is all about the joy. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks for stopping by. All about the joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.